How's it going? Celtic Warrior here in New York, just before our trip to Germany. We're here with the lovely Nicole in New York City, actually Howard Beach, but her brother owns a wrestling podcast called Sledgehammer Wrestling. So do yourself a favour. If you want life-changing information on WWE, you want to hear the news, the real in-depth information from WWE, listen to
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Best one out there.
See?
Seamus knows it.
And this woman knows what she's talking about.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
So what are you waiting for?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Nick Nightmare. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone, and you are watching Sledgehammer TV, your source for news, rumors, and highlights in the world of pro wrestling, sports, entertainment, anything you're interested in. Just make sure you let us know by leaving a comment below. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel already. Also, do not forget to follow us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean for exclusive audio podcasts that you cannot hear right here on YouTube.com, where the Sledgehammer TV network presides and brings to you breaking news today, being reported by Pro Wrestling Sheet's Ryan Satin, who is a fucking beast in the industry, 100% reliable source. I trust everything the guy says. Here is the report saying that the Broken Hardys are not re-signing with TNA, Impact, Anthem, Giant Blue Owl Sports Wrestling. I don't know what the fuck they're calling themselves. I don't know if they're going to change it from Impact. Jeff Jarrett and Dutch Mantell and his regime is in charge. And here is what Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned. Broken Matt and Jeff Hardy will not be signing new deals with Impact Wrestling, and it's because they felt disrespected during contract talks. Sources with direct knowledge tell us the Hardy Boys agreed to terms on a new deal with TNA back in December, but needed a few minor changes and were simply waiting for the finalized offer. We're told, we're being Pro Wrestling Sheet, not we, but they, were told that the deal was supposed to be for 1 year in length. Weeks and weeks have passed with Matt constantly checking in, but were consistently given the runaround. Eventually, Matt and Jeff's lawyer told Impact Wrestling officials that they wanted creative control clause in their new deals, which was shot down immediately, which is very surprising, considering how much success Matt Hardy's creative control has generated for TNA, Impact, Bird Wrestling over the last year. One source says their lawyer told Ed Nordholm there was interest from other companies, and he responded by saying, "We'll tell them to go back to WWE," which is what we're all hoping for anyway. This apparently set Jeff Hardy off, who at that point said he was no longer interested in re-signing. Matt continued talking with the company, but when they sent a new contract last week, it was now for 2 years, and terms had been snuck in that stated that TNA, Impact, whatever, will receive 10% of all the Hardys' profits on the independent scene. What a douche thing to do. Matt's lawyer said he'd be a fool to sign that agreement, so he informed the company he wasn't interested in doing so, but would do the honorable thing and would still come to the tapings to write off his characters from television. However, he was told he was crazy to think they'd want him on TV without a contract. We, again, Pro Wrestling Sheet, are being told that Impact officials are actively, currently trying to get their tag team titles back, as the Hardys are still the Impact World Tag Team Champions as this is going down. This is an incredible story. This is absolutely exciting. Many of us in the YouTube community, in the internet wrestling communities, the smarks, whatever you want to call us, we've been calling for this. We've been waiting for this moment. And the funny thing is this. None of this would mean anything, and there would not be anywhere near as much hype for this if not for the rebirth of Matt Hardy. If you're just talking about the Hardy Boys as they were, sure, they're going to come in, they're going to pop. But Matt Hardy and also Jeff Hardy to some extent have extended the life and recreated a character. Reborn is Matt Hardy in a way that the WWE Universe has never experienced it. At least not in the confines of the WWE. Those of us who watch TNA and watch WWE, we know what we're in store for. Where else are they going to go? Are they going to go to New Japan? No. Are they going to show up this week or within the next month on WWE programming? No. Are they going to be at WrestleMania? I'm going to say no. Sources report that they are in a very big match with the Young Bucks in some independent big show in and around the same time frame that WrestleMania is going around. I'm not sure if it's on the same exact day or if it's the day before, which doesn't mean we could rule it out. But I highly, highly doubt that the Hardys will be in the WWE before WrestleMania, if not at WrestleMania, on the Monday after, which historically, as we all know, is the biggest night of the calendar year in pro wrestling, in the WWE most especially, to see who's coming up, what kind of stories we're going to get, how the guard is going to be changed, who's retiring, who's being called up. It's a fantastic night for the WWE. It always generates a lot of hype. It always generates a lot of viewers. Sometimes it generates controversy, which is never bad because controversy creates cash. And I'm loving every single part of this story. I had heard that they had signed with TNA back in December and that any chance of them coming was null and void because Matt Hardy had some kind of a vision and they were letting him go with it. And we went from the final deletion all the way to Tag Team Apocalypto, and it was absolutely an amazing ride. It rubbed us all the wrong way at first, but once you acquire the taste and you get used to seeing it, you see the broken brilliance for what it is, and you want to be deleted. You want to scream delete. You want to be one of Matt Hardy's followers, and it's second to none. Having the possibility of him coming back and being in a feud with the likes of Bray Wyatt, can you imagine the promos? They've been working each other on Twitter over the last year. Believe me, Bray Wyatt is very much looking forward to the possibility of being able to work with broken Matt Hardy. The interesting thing is going to be, if they in fact do come home to the WWE, are they going to debut him right off the bat as broken Matt Hardy? Or would it be far more interesting to bring back the Hardys packaged as WWE style? The fans wouldn't know what to make of this. They'd probably get very upset by it. And you don't have to make it last long, but maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, you see Matt Hardy trying to be his old self. But clearly something's off. And we, the viewers who know his history, will know this. We know what's wrong. He's broken. What is this? And you could tell by his minor, mannerisms that he might do or something that he might say in a weird language. And Jeff will be like, whoa, come on, we're the Hardys, and they can use the old music and everything just for the first few. And then finally have him re-break. That this is too much. He cannot pretend to be phony anymore. And he needs to take down the meek Mahans. And the deletions will begin. And the broken brilliance will be there for us to all see. that would be, I think, one of the most interesting ways they can reintegrate him into WWE storylines, by having him come back as something familiar to those of the people who have not seen TNA, although you'd have to be living under a fucking rock if you're in the wrestling world or you follow wrestling in any way to not know anything about this. You'd have to be really fucking dumb and really ignorant and really, really not watch TNA and have hatred for everything to the point where you don't even check any news and you don't read nothing and all you do is watch what WWE says. And even then, you need to know what you would hear. The sounds of delete. You hear it every week. You hear the deletes on Monday Night Raw. If that didn't pique your interest to find out what the hell they're talking about and you don't know what it is, then I'll tell you this, my friend. As dumb as you might be, you're in for a fucking wild ride when the Broken Hardys show up on the doorsteps of Stamford, Connecticut and bust the doors down in the WWE and maybe bring some prominence back to a tag team division before possibly going off on one last final run. Jeff Hardy has been quoted on saying he would want his last match to be in the Hell in a Cell versus The Undertaker. That's not going to happen. Taker doesn't have another cell match in him. And it scares me to think that that's what he would say, because all that would mean to me is that if that's going to be his last match, he's going to kill himself on his way out. He's going to do something crazy off the top of the cage, and we're going to see the death of Jeff Hardy if he gets his way, and I don't want to see that at all. And luckily, I guess, The Undertaker's way past that. It's not going to happen. So it will be interesting, however, to see what they do with these guys after they split them up. If they split them up, are they going to go into the Hall of Fame quickly? I hope not. I hope they give them legit, decent second run in the company, just like Chris Jericho has been doing. They definitely deserve it. They have so much more to give back. If you let Jeff Hardy wrestle part-time, he could still do some of the stuff he's used to doing, but he's got to tone it down. He's got to take lessons from AJ Styles and learn a different style and maybe reinvent himself that way. Stop being such a spot monkey and maybe, surprise the fans and become a really, really good wrestler. Not just a great wrestler, but a tremendous wrestler. Or whatever kind of adjective you want to use to describe it. He needs to elevate his game, but not to the point where he's going to break his neck or his back. Take lessons from what you've seen in your friends like Edge. And take notes from guys like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, who wrestled crazy styles and adapted so that they can have longevity in their careers. And they don't have to rely on pain meds and alcoholism and whatever other problems or demons that creep in and out of his life on a consistent basis. That would be a better way to go about it, I think. And he can have another 2-3 years. A couple of more WrestleMania matches. Maybe a ladder match. Again, and put over some of the young guys. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. On a WWE event. In that capacity. That's money. That's money. You could print it all the way to the bank. And you do it all on SmackDown. Look at that. You have Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles. Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Those are your two main feuds of the year. Those are going to blow away anything that Raw would have, even with the Evolution angle going on. Because I have a feeling they're going to ruin that, if it's in fact what they even do. And let's not forget, as you see if you read in the crawl above, because the Hardys take precedence, but Drew Galloway yesterday, the day before this news broke, actually announced that he too was not able to come to terms with TNA. That leads everybody to speculate, just as they do with the Hardys, that he's going to be following his footsteps back home and maybe reinvent the Drew McIntyre character, as I talked about on the audio podcast, which you can check out on Podbean, iTunes, or Stitcher Radio. Got a little more in depth on that there. My thoughts on how that could go down. You could check that out there. Don't forget to follow. Leave us a rating. 5 stars, please. If you feel I deserve it, which I think you do. If you're here this long and you're watching this, you know I deserve it. So give it up on all my platforms, just like right here. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Drew Galloway possibly coming back just as well as the Hardys. He was one of Vince McMahon's prized possessions back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, before he left the company after that horrendous run in 3MB. Like I said, more on that can be heard on the audio show if you want to check out my thoughts more on that. But we'll see if any of this, I mean, it's all still speculatory, but all roads seem to point towards these guys coming back home, and I couldn't be more ecstatic for all of them. The only added person from TNA that I would bring along with them would be Eli Drake.
Dummy, yeah.
You hear it right there. I love Eli Drake. I love Dummy Yeah as a catchphrase. I love everything about it. And I think if they were able to take him and keep his creative essence and let him keep that catchphrase, he would get to new heights in the WWE. He's a fantastic talent. If you never watched Eli Drake wrestle, you're missing it. He's a great wrestler. He's a great mic worker. Always hope that guys on his level come to the big stage. Just like the Hardys might be coming back. Just like Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, whatever you like to call him, probably on his way back. It's going to be a very interesting road to WrestleMania. If not, before then, the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw might be the best Raw we're going to have seen since, God, I don't even remember the last time I fully enjoyed Raw. I mean, even that night when Finn Balor won after the brand split and they were going to do the reshuffling of the cards and he ended up winning the Universal title. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't great. And this one, with all these returns and Kurt Angle being back in the company, who knows who the new GM's going to be, the Monday after WrestleMania, it's going to be a big one. And I predict that's where we will see the return of the Hardys to the WWE. Thank you for joining me so much. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Don't forget to check us out on our other channel, iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Available there. Follow us. Share it. Subscribe. Rate it. Review it. Tell the world about it. Let them know that Nick Nightmare is here with Blue, the Snowball microphone, bringing you the best breaking news in the business. Have a good one, and I'll see you later on tonight for our SmackDown Live review. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe then during the subscription party, right after the Blue brand goes off the air tonight, about 10:30. I'll see you there. Have a good one. The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is now available on Stitcher. Listen anytime, anywhere. Create custom playlists. Over 65,000 plus news, sports, and entertainment shows for you to discover on demand and on the go with no downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory. Stream your favorite podcasts like this one or my favorite podcast, Off the Script with JD from NY206. If you do not have Stitcher, it's real easy to get it. Download it absolutely free at Stitcher.com or in your app store. Stitcher, radio on demand.